What is going on, guys? Right off the bat, I want to let you know it's very late right now and I'm very tired. I just got done playing drums for like 4 hours. I worked all day and it's very late, so I'm very tired. I'm not gonna have a whole lot of energy in this video, but I'm gonna try and summon it up as much as I can. So the Nintendo Direct thing happened at E3 or whatever. And then afterwards there was the Treehouse, which featured Pokemon Sword and Shield. And the only reason that I'm talking about this specific thing, I mean, we got a bunch of cool stuff that maybe I'll address later, but the main thing that I want to point out is that in Sword and Shield, there's no national DEX. Now, this is probably the most polarizing thing out of this whole thing. So let's just stop right there and think about that. Out of the entire Nintendo Direct and the Treehouse, I'm so sorry, it's very late. The thing that people took away was that there's no national DEX in Pokemon, right? Only Pokemon in the Galar region can go to the Galar region, right? And that's it. So essentially it's going to be a very limited Pokedex. Now, we have no idea how many Pokemon are going to be in this game. The game's not out yet. We don't know what Pokemon are going to be in this game. Me personally, if it was something like Stunfisk, I could care less. And this isn't the first Pokemon game to not have all of the Pokemon. Look at Pokemon Quest, only Gen 1. Let's Go, only Gen 1 with some Alolan forms, and Meltan/Melmetal. Pokemon Go has to be updated with new generations. Did I already say Pokemon Conquest or Quest? Bunch of other games. Mystery Dungeon, I guess, right? There's a ton of Pokemon games that don't have all the Pokemon, right? That people love and that do very well. Like Pokemon Go, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it like the best-selling mobile game of all time ever? And they started with Gen 1 only, and it's still going. It's still a huge thing, right? They still are not caught up, to my knowledge at least. I don't know. At the time of recording this video, that's what I'll say. So, for me, it's not really that big of a deal that we don't get all of the Pokemon, okay? And that's just my personal opinion, right? It's not that big of a deal for me. You guys are gonna have to let me know in the comment section, was it Gen 4 or Gen 5? Anyway, it was one of the ones that I hated, where you didn't have any old Pokemon. It was only, you played through with those Pokemon, right? And then the end game unlocked the national DEX and then you can get all the Pokemon. But initially you play the game with only those Pokemon. And people loved it. People go insane if you talk trash on Gen 4 or 5 or whatever. And then you eventually did get all of the Pokemon available or unlocked or whatever at the end. But I think that people, and I watched Hoodlum Callum's video on this same topic, and I'm going to try and not copy what he said, but a lot of the things that I thought when I was at work and when I was in McKinney that I couldn't record at the time, right, because I was busy all day long until now, he already said in his video, which is, I agree with him in thinking that people are overreacting. And I think that, me personally, it's an easy fix. I mean, look at literally any DLC ever, right? This is on the Switch. You can get DLC. Even on the 3DS, you could get DLC, right? Yeah. They had the little shop thing. So we're in a time where something like that doesn't necessarily matter as much. Now, we have to address Pokemon Home. Pokemon Home is a good idea if you look at it from a certain way, right? If you look at it where all of your Pokemon from every generation can be stored there, but they can only go one way, I believe. And then I think on the graph it showed, I don't remember and I'm not gonna look it up. I don't even think I'm gonna edit this video. On the graph, the little infographic, they showed that it could go two ways between the Galar region, but the main thing that Masuda said was that Pokemon that are non-native to the Galar region cannot be transferred into Sword and Shield, which is why everyone, it seems like, I don't want to use all-encompassing statements like everyone, although I probably will, but a lot of people are freaking out. And hold on, let's see. Anyway, I was gonna look up this tweet about... Anyway, you'll have to forgive me, but someone tweeted this post saying that they should, like, basically boycott Sword and Shield? And I don't understand that. Like, oh yeah, here it is. Everyone, please do not purchase or pre-order Pokemon Sword Shield until they confirm that all Pokemon will be available. Me must ask Pokemon to fix this. I want these games to be good, but without all Pokemon, it simply won't. Hashtag bring back national DEX. King Nito says, this has reached levels of stupid I cannot believe. It's gone from conversation to chaotic hysteria. I'm over it. And I tend to agree with him. Let me pull up some of these other tweets. I'm sorry if I don't end up showing them. I just want to get my thoughts out while I'm still awake and while I still can think, right? So I do apologize. I do really apologize. Yeah. And then High Velocity, at High Velocity Boy says, he tweeted this GIF and explains, it was Masuda explaining the decision to limit the DEX was due to developer time constraints and wanting to preserve any quality/balance. Please don't harass their social media staff, and please be mindful if you have a following so that you don't incite others to do so either. And that's something that I realized as soon as everyone started freaking out. And I have another tweet from Joe Merrick, the webmaster of Cerebi, who is like a staple of the Pokemon community. I retweeted this with my own comment, but Joe Merrick tweets, could have at least revealed something new and awesome to distract from this bad news. Nobody in the Pokemon community is going to be happy at this. Dude, when I saw this, it's like, bad news? What do you mean bad news? Like, the National DEX is not going to be available at launch. If they would have said at launch, then what would you think? But they didn't say at launch, right? They said it's not going to be available in the game, but they didn't say ever. and they have created a service for transferring Pokemon. So maybe they are working on that, right? But instead you have, I don't know if Joe Merrick qualifies as a public figure. He probably should, because he's the face most associated with Cerebi.net, like the go-to Pokemon database website, right? And he's on Twitter saying, could have at least revealed something new and awesome to distract from this bad news. Now, I don't in any way want to attack or demean Joe Merrick. And if in some way he sees this video, this is not a good look. This is not helpful. Maybe he was just having a bad day. I don't know. Previously on Twitter, he was talking about Jinx Club and how... So Jinx Club had stated that what Masuda had said about the Pokemon availability was probably a mistranslation. Either Jinx Club said that herself or someone told her, and that we just need to be patient and wait. And Joe Merrick went off saying that she was full of S, I believe replying to faint attacks. And everyone in the thread was like, whoa, calm down. Like, you really don't have to go that far. Like, I mean, even using profanity, it's not really that serious. So maybe he was just having a bad day, but just the line by itself could have at least revealed something new and awesome. Like, just stop right there. We have a new Pokemon game that's on a, I guess for all intents and purposes, a home console. We've never had that before. There's an open world area where with a camera you can control. You have a lifelike player model and it's not chibi. You can walk around, it's omnidirectional, it's not fixed to a grid. You get to see Pokemon in the overworld, and there are still wild encounters. There's raid battles. There are trainers that you can see if they're online and nearby that can give you items. There's gonna be new Pokemon. There's an entire new game with a new region and new gym leaders and new mechanics and a new story. And the words that he chooses are, could have at least revealed something new and awesome to distract from this bad news. Like, it's very, I'm trying not to be offensive or inflammatory. I'm just pointing out the level of reaction that people had to the news that there's not going to be a national DEX in a Pokemon game. Like, I don't know, man. So basically, what I want to say is this. In my personal experience, what I have seen from people who are fans of the Pokemon series that are often very vocal on social media platforms tend to be, in my opinion, insatiable. There's always an attitude of what's next? They should have done this. Wouldn't it be nice if we had this? What about this? These are the predictions that I want. These are the hopes and wishes that I want for this, this, and that. Often, when a game is still in its life cycle. But that's interesting too, because it seems like Pokemon games have a very short lifespan. People get the game, they beat it, and then they upload online viewer battles or a guide, and then the game's over. And then the rest of the buzz is about the next game. And there's still people who don't have the current one. Like my friend Frank that I used to work with at Racetrack before I got this job, he wants to get Sword and Shield because he hasn't played Pokemon in a while, and he was asking me, is this the one to get back into Pokemon? And I'm like, yes, for sure. But just imagine if I would be like, no man, you can't get all the Pokemon, don't get it. He's probably gonna listen to me and be like, oh, okay. Like, that's not... Negativity like this is not helpful to building the Pokemon community and creating a healthy space where we can all vibe off of each other and grow together and have an awesome experience with a game that we all love. That we all have this one thing in common, at least, right? I don't know, I should have written a script for this video. The point is, if you have a big audience, number one, you have to have some sort of... Your words have weight, right? More than someone like me. I have a small audience, which is good and bad. It's bad because I'd like to grow. It's good because I don't really have to worry about the things that I say because I have a small audience and I know barely anyone is going to see this video. But if the webmaster of Cerebi goes online, right? Cerebi, which is a dedicated Pokemon exclusive site, right? If he's making any money, that's his whole livelihood. Goes on Twitter and bashes Pokemon, which his whole website and whole everything associated with Joe Merrick is Pokemon. That's not a good look. It doesn't make sense. So, and I know I've talked about Joe Merrick. I'm sure he's a lovely guy. We would be nothing without Cerebi in the community. His contributions are awesome. His Twitter page is awesome. Cerebi.net as well as Joe Merrick. There's a lot of good information. And I'm sure he's a wonderful guy. It's just this is the most shocking and outlying example of this sort of reaction that people had. Now there are people like Duncan and Callum who made little memes, you know, with the Thanos snap and posted like instead of gotta catch them all, it said gotta catch some of them and stuff like that. And that's funny. We can all relate to that. And I am going to be upset. I mean, I'm not because I know Tyranitar's in the game. But I am going to be upset if a Pokemon that I really like isn't in the game. I'll be like, aw. But that's it. I'm not going to go online and encourage people to boycott the game because I can't have my cake and then also eat it. So I would strongly encourage you to just be excited. Be excited for the game. It's a new Pokemon game that we've never played before. We're gonna see new Pokemon, new stuff, and don't spoil it for yourself. Because the Pokemon community tends to be very short attention span. You get a Pokemon game and blah, 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 and then it's over, and then what's next? And then leaks and all of this stuff, and it's like, just enjoy the game that you have, and that's it. Set your expectations to nothing, and you will always be satisfied. But the way that we don't move forward is by getting upset that a new Pokemon game, a game which we all love, and the reason that we're so upset is because we love the game, doesn't have a feature that we want, right? So anyway, I don't know how long this video has been, but I look like trash and I need to go to sleep. So I'm literally gonna stop recording and just upload this. Thank you guys for watching. You guys have been great. I have been the Danger Moss, and I will see you next time.